What's up folks, Moon here, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about 3 tips to instantly improve your healing in Mythic Plus. So I recently hit 3k on both of my healers, and I've recently swapped over to DPS just to see what it's like and play a different role than healing. And for some reason I feel like when I play a different role than my main role, I become a little bit more critical and observational of what people are doing on my main role. Now, regardless if you're just now picking up healing or maybe you want shorter queue times, I got you covered. We'll just jump right into it. The first tip I've got is to use your larger healing cooldowns more frequently. If you're new to healing Mythic Plus, maybe you've come from a raiding background or maybe you've come from a PvP background, you were taught that your major cooldowns, like for instance Healing Tide or Spirit Link or Ascendance, that these things should be used in emergency situations. However, these cooldowns give you a significant increase to your healing throughput, and they don't nearly have as long of a cooldown as you think they do. For instance, if you're a Resto Shaman player and you take Ascendance with the first Ascendant, your Ascendance cooldown is shortened to 2 minutes long. So if you're doing like a Theater of Pain key where the timer is about 34 minutes, you could hypothetically get 17 uses out of your Ascendance in that key. Because Ascendance duplicates your healing for 15 seconds, that is 15 seconds out of every 2 minutes where you get duplicated healing, and it is a massive increase to your throughput. Additionally, because healers have about 2 to 3 healing cooldowns that are each about 2 to 3 minutes long, you could hypothetically be using a major healing cooldown about every minute. So about every pack or every other pack of mobs. And this is ultimately because these large healing cooldowns will allow you to drastically increase your healing throughput at a lower mana cost, meaning that you will never be going out of mana, and your tanks and DPS will absolutely love you because they don't have to stop the key for you to drink. Which leads me to my next point, being more mindful and resourceful of your mana usage. I have seen way too many times in key levels that are very low, healers that are spamming these very high cost, low efficiency heals out of desperation because maybe they're panicking, maybe they don't know that they could just press a large healing cooldown and have it be fine, or they're not necessarily making use of their high efficiency, low mana cost heals. For instance, again, going back to Resto Shaman, if I am spamming Chain Heal or if I am spamming Healing Surge as opposed to something that's more effective like Healing Wave, I am going to go out of mana super quick. But if I only weave in those high mana cost heals in situations where I absolutely need it, I will never be going out of mana. Now, another trick that I like to do personally is to sip between packs, where I will position myself slightly ahead of the rest of the party to where whenever the pack that we are currently on dies, I can sit down for 5 to 6 seconds and get a quick sip of mana. And more often than not, because I do this when I'm at about 80-70% mana, this will bring me all the way back up to 100% mana, and I never have to worry about going in a key. And then the last tip I've got for y'all is to learn your dispel windows. Now, every single healer, regardless of what healer you are playing, has a dispel ability that is on an 8-second cooldown. And every single healer has the ability to dispel a magic debuff effect. And because there are so few abilities otherwise that would be able to dispel a magic debuff effect, it is going to be, for the most part, your responsibility to deal with magic dispels. And there is going to be one in just about every key. It's important that you learn where these are. Now, in lower keys, if you see a magic dispel, you can just rip it off and generally not face any consequences for it. And if you're learning for the first time, I would just recommend dispelling on cooldown. However, there are going to be some mechanics where you are going to want to hold your dispel for a little bit for a more opportune time, such as the dog pack that is right before Cujo on Operation Mechagon, where the mechanical dogs will apply a ticking damage over time effect to a random party member. Now, while you absolutely can heal through one of these stacks, if a player is targeted by multiple dogs and gets multiple stacks of the debuff, they're almost certainly dead. So that is an example of where you would want to hold a dispel for. I remember in Stone Vault last season, there was also the Edna boss where you wanted to hold your dispel on the tank for an opportune moment because it gave the tank a debuff that reduced the damage from an oncoming tank buster. So there are going to be situations where holding your dispel will be worth it, but as you begin to climb into higher level keys, the responsibility is going to be on you to know when those dispel timings are. And another quick tip I've got for you is In knowing which debuffs are magic that you can actually dispel as a healer, any debuff that is magic that you can dispel is going to have a blue border around it. And it's really cool too because every type of debuff has its own unique color, such as poison being green, curse being purple. But the main point I'm trying to get at here is if the color of the border is blue, the dispel responsibility is on you. So I hope this helped. If you are just now getting into healing in Mythic Plus, I want to make a little short video for y'all today. I'm trying to veer more away from guide style content, but at the same time, I do like making these videos to help out the homies whenever I find a topic that I think would be interesting. So, if you enjoy this type of content, it would mean a lot if you could support the channel. And until next time, this is Moon, healing in Mythic Plus, and signing out.